For decades, these American towns survived some of the coldest winters on Earth. Snowstorms, freezing temperatures, and long dark months were once a badge of honor. But now, something has changed. People are packing up their homes. Families are moving south. Young workers are not coming back. Entire communities that once thrived in extreme cold are slowly shrinking. In this video, we explore why people are leaving cold U.S. towns, what life has become in these places, and whether these towns still have a future. This is not just about weather. This is about survival, cost, health, and quality of life. Watch till the end, because the reasons might surprise you. Winter is nitrogen monoxide longer, just a season. IT is a lifestyle burden. In many cold American towns, winter does not last 3 months. It lasts half the year. Snow arrives early, stays late, and limits life in ways people outside these regions do not fully understand. Residents spend months indoors. Social gatherings become rare. Outdoor activities disappear. Even sunlight becomes limited. This extended isolation slowly wears people down mentally and emotionally. When winter controls your daily routine, your finances, and your mental health, it stops being a season and becomes a burden. Many residents eventually reach a breaking point and decide that life should not feel like survival. Daily life becomes physically exhausting. Living in extreme cold requires constant physical effort. Shoveling snow before work, clearing driveways multiple times a day, scraping ice off vehicles in freezing winds, carrying groceries across slippery parking lots. This daily strain might feel manageable at 25 years old, but it becomes overwhelming at 40, painful at 60, and dangerous after that. People realize they are aging faster simply because their environment demands so much from their bodies. Warm weather states offer something many cold towns cannot ease. Small towns feel cut off from the world. Many cold towns are geographically isolated. During heavy snowstorms, highways close, flights are canceled, and travel becomes impossible. Families can go days without outside contact. When emergencies happen, help may not arrive quickly. This isolation creates anxiety, especially for families with children or elderly relatives. Modern life values connection, accessibility, and mobility. Cold towns increasingly feel disconnected from opportunity, culture, and growth. Cost of home maintenance is out of control. Homes in cold climates require constant maintenance. Roofs must withstand heavy snow loads. Pipes need insulation. Foundations crack due to freeze and thaw cycles. Vehicles rust faster. Heating systems break down frequently. Owning a home in these towns often means spending thousands of dollars every year just to prevent damage. Many homeowners realize they are investing more money into maintenance than the house itself is worth. Selling becomes difficult. Property values stagnate or decline. Once people see their home as a financial trap, leaving becomes urgent. Climate change is making extremes worse. Climate change has not made winters milder in these regions. Instead, it has made them more unpredictable and more violent. Sudden temperature drops cause infrastructure failure. Record-breaking snowfall overwhelms towns. Ice storms knock out power for days. Recovery costs rise every year. Insurance premiums increase. Emergency services become stretched. Town budgets struggle to keep up. Residents lose confidence that their town can adapt to the future. Uncertainty drives migration. Education and opportunity are limited. Cold towns often struggle to retain teachers, doctors, and skilled professionals. Schools face funding cuts as populations shrink. Advanced education opportunities disappear. Parents want better futures for their children. When they compare opportunities available in warmer, growing regions, the decision becomes clear. Families move not because they hate their town, but because they love their children. Retirees are leaving in large numbers. Retirement changes priorities. Comfort becomes essential. Health becomes fragile. Fixed incomes make rising winter costs unsustainable. Many retirees move south to states with warmer climates, lower taxes, and better healthcare access. Once retirees leave, towns lose stability, volunteerism, and local spending. The departure of retirees accelerates economic decline. Emotional fatigue sets in. People rarely leave because of one bad winter. They leave because of many hard winters stacked together. Missed holidays due to storms. Broken cars. Power outages. Canceled plans. Endless gray skies. Eventually, residents feel emotionally drained. They begin to imagine a different life. A life with sunshine. A life with ease. A life where weather does not control everything. That imagination becomes a plan. Life becomes visible. Empty houses appear on once busy streets. Schools consolidate or close. Stores reduce hours or shut down permanently. The town feels quieter, slower, older. When people sense decline, they fear being the last ones left. That fear triggers even more departures. What begins as a slow exit turns into a steady flow? Mid-part transition at this point. It becomes clear that people are not just leaving because of cold weather. They are leaving because the cost of enduring that cold has become too high. But what happens next? What do these towns look like now? What are residents saying? And is there any hope left for these places? What these towns look like today. If you visit many of these cold American towns today, the change is impossible to ignore. Downtown streets that once felt busy now feel quiet, even on weekends. Storefronts remain closed for months, their windows covered with old posters fading in the cold sunlight. Restaurants shorten their hours because there are not enough customers to justify staying open late. Schools that once echoed with children's voices now operate with half their previous enrollment. Sports teams combine with neighboring towns just to have enough players. Entire school buildings shut down, leaving behind empty parking lots and playgrounds buried under snow. The town still exists, but it feels like it is slowly holding its breath. The people who stay behind, not everyone leaves. Some residents stay because they cannot afford to move. Their homes are worth too little to sell. Others stay because their families have lived there for generations. For some, this town is not just a place to live, it is their identity. But staying comes with emotional weight. People watch, friends move away one by one. Longtime neighbors disappear. Community traditions shrink. Events that once brought everyone together slowly fade. The hardest part is not the cold. It is the loneliness. Mental health struggles in cold towns, long winters, and limited sunlight take a serious toll on mental health. Seasonal depression becomes common. Motivation drops. Energy disappears. When towns lose jobs and people, mental health resources also disappear. Clinics close. Therapists move away. Support becomes harder to find. Residents feel trapped between their environment and their emotions. Many describe feeling stuck in survival mode for months at a time. For some, leaving becomes an act of self-preservation. Young people are not coming back. One of the most painful realities for these towns is the loss of the next generation. Young adults leave for college or work and never return. They find better jobs, warmer climates, and more active social lives elsewhere. When they start families, they choose places with growth and opportunity. This creates a cycle that is difficult to break. Without young families, towns lose energy, innovation, and long-term stability. Without young workers, businesses cannot survive. Without children, schools close. The future quietly slips away. Local economies are struggling to survive. Cold towns depend heavily on a few industries: manufacturing, mining, forestry, or seasonal tourism. When winters become harsher and populations shrink, these industries struggle. Businesses face higher costs and fewer workers. Tourism declines when weather becomes unpredictable. As businesses close, jobs disappear. As jobs disappear, more people leave. It is not a sudden collapse. It is a slow economic erosion. Infrastructure is aging and failing. Roads crack from freeze-thaw cycles. Water systems break. Power lines fail under ice and snow. Maintaining infrastructure in extreme cold is expensive. With shrinking tax bases, towns cannot afford repairs. Delays become common. Temporary fixes replace permanent solutions. Residents lose confidence in their town's ability to function safely in the future. That loss of trust pushes more people toward the exit. Why some towns will never recover, some cold towns will not recover. no matter how hard they try. They are too remote, too dependent on fading industries, too expensive to maintain, too small to attract new residents. Population loss reaches a point where recovery becomes unrealistic. Towns transition from communities into memories. Homes are abandoned. Services disappear. Maps still show the town, but life slowly drains away. But not all hope is gone. Some cold towns are fighting back. They invest in remote work infrastructure. They attract artists, digital workers, and people seeking quiet lives. They promote lower housing costs and slower living. A few succeed. But success requires adaptation, vision, and support. Without those, decline continues. The real reason people are leaving at its core, this migration is not about snow. It is about quality of life. People want stability, opportunity, connection, and comfort. They want to spend less time surviving and more time living. When a town can no longer offer that, even the strongest roots begin to loosen. Final emotional moment, these cold towns are not failures. They are reminders. They remind us that places, like people, must evolve. They remind us that environment shapes destiny. They remind us that comfort, health, and hope matter. And they remind us that sometimes leaving is not betrayal. It is survival. If you have ever lived in a cold town, if you have ever thought about leaving, or if you still live in one today, share your story in the comments. And if you want more deep stories about American towns, migration, and hidden realities, make sure you subscribe and stay with us. Because every town has a story, even the ones slowly disappearing.